Welcome everybody to Division 1 action here between Markus D at the top, aka Markus D, and Dylan Magika at the bottom, aka Dylan. You can see here Dylan had the perfect start to round 1, he's got the maximum 12 points, and he's up against Markus D. Markus dropped one format, but he's looking for a pretty solid start here. We can see the... This is the first week. This is week 2 action, by the way. So this is the first week of Dominaria cards being legal, and you can see Markus has played one immediately. It looks like he's on this traditional blue-white control. Memorial to Genius is one of the new cards. The blue card comes in tapped. You can sack it and pay 4 mana and draw 2 cards, so it's going to be handy later on. Dylan is on this new deck that seems to be pretty fashionable at the moment. He decides to get rid of Blossoming Defense. This is, I believe, mono green. So Markus is building up here towards a 4 mana spell so that he can have something like a Settle the Wreckage or a Fumigate at 5 to clear this out. He doesn't yet, and just as I say that, he's going to Fumigate, clear the board, and he's back to 18, so it's a pretty good start for him. So this is a classic control matchup versus what I believe is a pretty aggressive green deck. And here's one of the keys for the control matchups, Teferi. As we just pause that for a second, we look at Teferi. This is hugely popular at the moment. It's about a $30 card. Draw a card and then untap 2 lands at the end step, or put a permanent back into 3rd from the top, so Teferi is able to protect himself. If Teferi ultimates, it's pretty much game over. So you can see he's drawn the card, now he can untap the lands. But Sky Sovereign Flagship is going to get in on Teferi. Is there a seal away? Yes, there is. This is another new card. So it's going to exile the flagship. As we look at that one, it has flash. So when it enters the battlefield, exiles tapped creature. Very good against the vehicle there. Of course, this card has made I forget the name of it. The 2 mana vehicle much stronger because it has vigilance. Heart of Quran. Heart of Quran becomes much stronger now because Seal Away can't get it. And I think once Iskanta, Markus is still some way away from flipping Iskanta. So once Iskanta, and before I get to that, here's a big play from Dylan. You can see what he's just drawn now, Thrashing Brontodon. The 5/4 is going to get in here and get a Settle the Wreckage. I don't think Dylan minds that, but we're going to see a Thrashing Brontodon, and this is main deck, so this is huge. There's a Thrashing Brontodon. It's out of Rivals of Ixalan. You can pay 1 and sacrifice it, destroy target artifact or enchantment. So he straight away takes down the Seal Away and gets back his Sky Sovereign Flagship. He could have also taken down a Iskanta if he wanted to, because you can see here Markus is on 5 lands and he's getting closer to activating, and there's a second sun, so that's his combo piece. So time running out here for Dylan. Steel Leaf Champion is going to, and you can see he's been aggressive here, sacking the Haship Oasis to pump that flagship to a 9, so down to 16, and it's potentially he's a point short of a 2-turn clock here. And this is going to change things a bit. Gideon of the Trials. The problem is here, Gideon can only... He's actually plus Gideon on the flagship, so Steel Leaf Champion can still get in here. Steel Leaf Champion will be able to take down the Gideon, but it is going to cost him a turn. Oh, here's a Field of Ruin right now to remove the Haship Oasis, so there won't be any more pumps. Well, Llanowar Elves is excellent, but Dylan has seen enough, so we're going to go to game 2. Markus up a game here. Turn 1 Llanowar Elves. That's when you want to see the Llanowar Elves. Dylan undefeated. And this is an excellent card. Lifecrafter's Bestiary allows him to scry at the beginning of his upkeep, and whenever he plays a creature card, he can pay 1 green and draw a card. Excellent, excellent card against control. Jade Light Ranger. By the way, this was recorded by Dylan, so the cards that you see on your screen are Dylan's. He draws an initial Vital Force here. So he's just decided, do I want a Branch Walker or do I want a Ballista? He's going to go to Branch Walker because it possibly gets the Explore trigger. So you can see turn down the card draw. He wants to play the Heart of Quran, but it's not going to come off, unfortunately, for him. The play there was that Explore Find the Forest so that he could then also play the Heart of Quran. Down comes Gideon. So Gideon causing all sorts of issues. Pluses on the Branch Walker. Now he's got no energy, so this green belt's just going to get him some. It's not going to be able to be played. In fact, he's going for the Steel Leaf Champion here. Can't attack with the Branch Walker because Gideon plussed on him. Gideon's actually going to be safe here because he's going to plus on the Steel Leaf Champion this time. And he passes the turn. He's not in the market for a green belt Rampager, but he is going to... Or he's going to go to combat first. He's going for maximum value because he can actually... Settle the Wreckage is not bad here because it just replaces his Llanowar Elves. And he can play out Nissa Vital Force next turn. Gideon will plus on the Steel Leaf Champion. You can see Markus has got four cards in hand, so I would imagine he's bought in the maximum. This is a big one here. Does Nissa Vital Force resolve? If it does, it does. Wow. So target forest becomes a 5/5. I think that's going to be, and this is a good attack because if there is a Settle the Wreckage, it just replaces that, the forest replaces itself with an untapped forest. If there's a Seal Away, the Seal Away can actually take down the forest. There is a Seal Away, so what's he going to get here? Oh, he's going to get the Steel Leaf Champion. A little bit surprised that he didn't play the Greenbelt Rampager. I'm guessing he wants the card draw from the Lifecrafter's Bestiary there. Rampager could have crewed the Heart of Quran next turn. Although I do believe Nissa Vital Force, I should have actually got a blown up version of this, but it can ultimate at 6, so he gets to draw a card. Yeah, you get an emblem of a 6. So he's going to be forced to cast out the Vital Force here to prevent the emblem. So just use that's a nice play there. I like that play. Ballista can actually take down Gideon. Well, you could have just used Ballista here to actually crew the Heart of Quran, unless Gideon had tapped, which I don't believe he did. Just to pass the turn, still. Well, he chooses to keep 2 Branch Walkers here. I'll be right back. Okay, what are we up to? Markus down to 15, passes the turn, so he's got the mana open. But you can see the Lifecrafter's bestiary doing serious work here. Seal Away can't get the Heart of Quran. You can see he's respecting the Settle the Wreckage by not swinging the Merfolk Branchwalker. This is a Glimmer, so he's just dead. Next turn, if he doesn't find anything with the Glimmer, a search is not going to get it done. So I think it's Settle the Wreckage or bust here. Because he can use this Jade Light Ranger to actually crew one of the vehicles. You'd probably crew the Heart of Quran so that he can't have a Seal Away, although he's already used two. And then if you crew and there's a great Greenbelt Rampager as well. Serious card draw going on here. Yeah, so he's just dead unless it's Settled the Wreckage. We're going to game 3. Oh no, he's swung with one less, so a seal would have done it here. But he doesn't have it, so we're going to game 3. So the undefeated Dylan Magika comes back to win game 2, and he has now forced the final game against blue-white control. I was a bit surprised for Markus there. He shaped his Sanctuary before I get to that. This is a 1 mana card. You get to draw a card every time somebody casts a spell that targets one of your creatures. He had plenty of looks and couldn't find anything. Still hits his 3rd land drop. Well, that's a pretty aggressive Essence Scatter on the Merfolk Branchwalker, probably to prevent the Explore trigger. And that might also tell Dylan that he's probably got a hell of a lot sitting in hand. We'll probably see another one here. Oh, I'm surprised there's none there. So here comes the Heart of Quran. Now this is a problem for Seal Away. And he's going to use Settle the Wreckage to take it down. I don't think Markus will like that. He does hit his 5th land drop, but enchantments are doing the work here. As Teferi comes down, he won the game in game 1 with Teferi, so it's a good pickup for game 3. Teferi, though, he's going to untap, and if he doesn't have a Seal Away, he's actually just going to lose the Teferi right here. There it is. So he's got the Seal Away. So that just shows the power of Teferi. He gets the card draw from Shaper's Sanctuary. As Sky Sovereign does 3 damage when it comes into the Teferi. Down to 2 cards. Okay, here's one of the big ones, Lyra Dawnbringer. I haven't seen anything out of this green deck that can actually deal with this just yet. Because the Sky Sovereign is a 6/5, but Lyra's got first strike. Dylan's very attentive here. He hovers over the opponent's cards just in case we're not sure. We can get a quick look at it. I wonder if he's going to trade the Ballista right here for the... Oh no, he's going to go for the crew. 6/5. 6/5. I don't know. Oh, no, nice play. That's right. When it attacks, it does 3 damage. I forgot about that. So Ballista -2 to take down the Lyra. And that's a big blow for Markus, who's only got 1 card left now. Two, four, six, eight, 9. I don't believe he has the City's Blessing. Prowling Serpapod is going to be huge against the control deck because your creatures can't be countered. Going to crew the flagship, and Markus, I think, is in big trouble here. 7 coming across, 3 turns to find something. Well, it's going to be 2 turns because the Serpapard's going to get in next turn. So Markus down to 14. No plays on the instep from Dylan. He's just going to pass it. Not interested in playing out the Ronus. Okay, he sacks his... Sacks to draw 2 cards, the Memorial to Genius, and in response Dylan sacks his own Scavenger Grounds to exile the graveyard, so Ascanta couldn't flip there. And you can see Markus still only on 9 permanents, so he's still short of being able to activate Archer Varazka. Now, how does he want to do this? He's going to crew the Sky Sovereign of the Serpapard because he values the Serpapard to be able to cast his creatures. 3 cards in hand is an aggressive Settle the Wreckage. So none of these creatures can be countered here. As you can see, Markus fires off the Essence Scatter on the Ronus, but it doesn't it doesn't work, and Dylan says feels bad, man. And Markus just laughs. As what have we got here? 4, 7, 12. He could actually have lethal on board right here. If there's no Settle the Wreckage, this is game over. Oh, he wants to swing that Serpapard. He's going to do it. Is there a Settle the Wreckage? There isn't. Oh, there's a Gearhulk. And that's a beating right there. What it does mean though is that Markus is tapped out. So Dylan can resolve these spells if he wants to. And he resolves a very big Walking Ballista, 3/3 for 6 mana. So Ascanta's back to square one now. We haven't actually seen a flipped Ascanta in this match. But this is a good. This match is a good demonstration of where Standard is at the moment. Oh, forsake the worldly. That's going to be brutal because it's going to get a card draw and it's still going to get the Ballista to sack and do the 3 damage. I think I would have targeted the Shaper's Sanctuary there. Gearhulk can check the Ronus. As I was saying, this is a good advertisement for Standard because it means that we've got one viable blue-white control deck on one side, which is considered sort of the dominant deck of the new Standard, but we've got a mono-green kind of aggressive deck. Markus is just saying in chat he's trying to hang on, but you can see he's got no cards left. He's playing off the top of his deck here. So the ballistas you can pretty much subtract 4. Once you subtract 4 you get 7, which means there's lethal on board. So he's going to be forced to block that something with the Gearhulk next turn. 1 card in hand. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. He can actually activate Archer Varazka now. Dylan getting aggressive here, firing up the Hush Up Oasis. I think this is just lethal if Markus hasn't got an answer, because he's going to be able to pump one of these. Oh, actually, he's gonna have to chump this or he's dead. Yeah, he sees it, so Here's a glimmer of genius that's going to let him survive and find 2 cards. Probably... He's taken a ton of damage here. Oh, because he has trample as well. It goes to 9, so it's 8. He's effectively at 5, so he needs a fumigate here, or I think he's dead. He just had a glimmer of genius to try and find something now. He's got an Ascanta activation. Flips the Ascanta. Plays an island, so I'm guessing that's what he drew for the turn. So is he just dead here? Gearhulk's going to put counters on, but not before combat. Everybody coming in, is it? No, 8 damage. I think he, instead of swinging the Ruinous there, I would have swung the Steel Leaf Champion. So Markus just saying, can he find anything to keep him alive? Oh, he does. He finds a Settle the Wreckage. And Dylan just laughs in chat. So he's still going to take 6. No, why did Dylan... I think Dylan was too busy talking there in the chat. And he failed to sack the Ballista. So here's a Gearhulk that's going to put counters on. Yeah, so they're just resolving this in chat. He said he clicked through too fast, so he couldn't actually sack the Ballista. So he's correct. He had Markus dead on board. Markus can choose to just surrender here. They're still just resolving. He's not going to do it. He's going to fire off a fumigate. And yeah, he has. He's surrendered. So that's a fair play to Markus. He takes the gentleman's way. He was dead. Dylan demonstrated that to him. And Dylan, you can see he's playing this mono blue as Foretold. So this is going to find Living End as the combo. No, not Living End. Yeah, sorry, it does. It finds Living End as a combo piece. So he resolves as Foretold. This is crucial for this deck because that's the only way that this deck can actually cast Living End. It doesn't have a black source, I believe. I might be wrong. Dylan will correct me in chat on that one. But a pretty solid start here. He chooses to keep the Ghost Quarter on top. But a pretty quickly resolved Jace the Mind Sculptor here. He's going to flash back Lingering Soul, so Jace is going to have to +2 or he's dead here. Does he want to keep Remand? He wants to keep Remand. You can see a bit awkward of 2 Jace the Mind Sculptors. So he declines to use Curator of Mysteries as a blocker. Probably a pretty wise choice when he's up against, you know, black-white that's has all their mana open. Jace down to 1. 6 cards for Markus. What's he got? What's the game plan here? Gideon Jura, does this get the Cryptic Command? Oh, okay. That's a really nice play from Dylan. He cycled the Curator of Mysteries to remand the Gideon, and ironically drew another Curator of Mysteries, and ironically drew another Creator of Mysteries. So he's up to 3 now. He's just got 3 in a row. Resolves his Ancestral Vision, so he draws 3 cards. Now he's gonna... Oh, here's Living End, so he does have 3... He does have some Curators in the bin. He can cycle that, so he's gonna have 3 Curators now. Now he's gonna wipe the board and put his 3 flyers on. So I think he's gonna take game 1. Oh, plus all those Street Wraiths he cycled earlier. So if Markus doesn't have a board wipe like a Damnation, or it doesn't matter, he's got Dylan's got Cryptic Command, so it looks like we're going to game 2 here. We are. So Dylan takes game 1 of Modern. So we only saw Lingering Souls out of Engineered Explosives on 0, that'll take down the Lingering Souls. Rest in Peace. Now, how's he going to beat that? Okay, I wondered in game 1 if he had black mana sources, and you can see he does. Sunken Ruins. We also actually saw Sunken Ruins in game 1. So as Foretold, I think is going to bite the bin here. Yeah, I mean, I think he can beat that Rest in Peace with Cryptic Command, but it's going to it's going to be very slow going, because he has to actually bounce it and then counter it. And Gideon, so this might be a very fast game too. Suspends Ancestral Visions and passes the turn. Does have a remand up. Well, Markus is not mucking around, and Gideon fires up in for 7. Dylan might be forced to, and here's Gideon Juris is going to get remanded for sure, yes. Dylan might be forced to hard cast that Curator of Mysteries. He wants that. Fires up Gideon again. 7 more coming. Can only take it down to 6, so he's dead next turn. He can buy 1 turn of Cryptic Command, but still not really clear what he's looking for to try and get himself out of this. Well, actually, he can also crack the Engineered Explosives to get rid of the Knight Ally. Here's a Lingering Soul, so now might be a good time to crack the explosives, because Lingering Souls gets exiled, you can wipe. And that's a really good play. He's going to bounce and get the land. 2 turns to find something. A remand is going to be very handy here. 2 remands, so he's starting to get a bit of a recovery going. Markus with 6 damage to do. It's not going to happen in this turn, because Engineered Explosives, I think, will get the job done. Markus doesn't have the mana to cast 2 Planeswalkers in a turn, so we're going to see another remand here. Ooh, Collective Brutality. We're only going to see 1 remand, not 2. Shields are down, so Gideon can resolve here if he wants to, and he does. Goes for the Gideon. Yeah, promptly punish, says Dylan in chat. I think it was a bit of a misplay there. I think because he had 2 remands, he had to give up the first one. He's getting desperate. There's a cycle now. Ancestral off next turn, but doesn't have the pieces. He needs to find Cryptic. Cycle Street Wraith. I think we're going to game 3. Going to hard cast Curator of Mysteries. If there's any removal spell on the other side, we're going to game 3. Gideon's a 5/5, so Curator's going to be a chump blocker here. Again, another Collective Brutality. gets the card draw, finds another curator, not what he wants. He is getting ancestral visions off suspend next turn, so he will get to look at that card, 3 more cards. Path to exile, no he won't, because we're going to game 3. Wait, what did I... Oh, Markus forgot to fire up Gideon. I don't know what happened there. Oh, okay, he's going to do it the other way. He's going to fire off a collective brutality to do 2 damage. So just like in standard, we're going to a 3rd game. He's left 2 cyclers on the top. He's got the As Foretold for turn 3. He doesn't have the counter spell to stop the turn 2 Rest in Peace. Thought Caesar was probably going to take As Foretold here. This deck cannot win unless it casts Living End through As Foretold, so I'm a bit surprised that he chose to let As Foretold stay and Living End go. Unless he's bought in Disenchant or something like that. And Dylan quickly fires it off, so we'll see here if he's got the Disenchant. The new art there for the Isolated Chapel from the new set. Taps 3, is this Lingering Souls? Bajuka Bog will surely be coming down next turn if that is the case. I think he tapped his mana incorrectly there. He's trying to cast Gideon of the Trials. Yeah, I don't know what really happened there. And again here there's like a gentleman's move here from Dylan. He could have, because he's just said he's got Gideon of the Trials, he could have just held up, I was going to say, maybe not gentleman's move. He's held up Cryptic Command. So here's Gideon this time. This will get the remand. But you can see Dylan has nothing going on. Uh-oh, just as I say that, Living End. So he's got 9 power on the board. Did Markus bring in a Damnation? He did. Wrath of God. Nice play. So we've seen 2 Living Ends from Dylan now. It means he's got 2 chances left to win this one. As he just Ghost Quarters them a couple of times, as foretold up to 3. He's going to cast Serum Visions through the As Foretold. Doesn't want a second one. So he's going to draw Remand next turn. But now the shields are down for Markus to do something, and he does. He finds a Gideon Ally of Zendikar. Dylan pretty aggressive here going after the lands. He will cycle a streak, and he's found another Living End. This is not going to be as... Oh, and he's going to Bazooka Bog. No, I thought he's going to Bazooka Bog first. I think he checked to make sure Markus doesn't have any creatures, which he doesn't. So now, can Markus find something else? Or is Gideon just dead? Six cards in hand. He can't get the Striped Riverwinder because it has hexproof. How is he going to get himself out of this? Plays a Knight. And a Lingering Souls. Okay, that's doable. That'll give him some protection. But Curator of Mysteries has flying, so those Lingering Souls are just going to be chump blockers here. Okay, he says, no, we're not going to waste our time with Gideon. We're going straight after Markus. 12 damage here. Double chump block. He's kind of putting himself in a position here where, there's Jason coming. I was going to say, he's putting himself in a position where he needs to... Bazooka Bog's going to get rid of those lingering souls. He needs to top deck a Wrath of God here. Damnation won't be good enough because he doesn't have the double black. You see, Dylan doesn't suspend because he wants to cast it through the as Foretold next turn. Inquisition's going to get that, so he's going to get punished for it, but I think it's not going to matter. Every time he cycles with discards, he gets a scry from Curator of Mysteries. Actually, Jace, if Jace just bounces that Knight Ally, I think it's lethal on board. Yeah, I've got a note from Dylan here that says that Markus had disconnected. Okay, he's managed to reconnect. I think the game is over anyway. We have 11 damage on board. So Gideon's going to be able to take down the Jace. But he needs something in his hand that can actually beat the board, but we know that Dylan's drawing Decryptic Command next turn, so... Unless he has 2 Path to Exiles, or that will fly, Gideon of the Trials. No, it won't fly, sorry. He'll create an emblem here. He's actually going to plus on Curator, so there's only 9 damage coming through here. So this has been a pretty good exhibition here. This deck is quite weak to Rest in Peace, but if you don't get the Rest in Peace, it looks very impressive. He's going to draw 2 cards through Knight's Whisper, so Markus has got 6 cards in hand. There's the Rest in Peace, but I think it's come a bit too late. And it's also not even going to bother getting a Cryptic Command. I think Dylan thinks he's got enough on board here to get this job done. Cycles doesn't want an as Foretold, so he'll get a Living End. Living End, no good now. And top deck time or bust. He needs at least 2 cards that can get him something, but I don't think he's going to find it. Yeah, he's going to concede. So we're going to Legacy now. And as we can see, Dylan on this mono red prison deck that he's had some pretty good success with recently. Something going on. Fires outside my house. Well, Hazaret is going to be able to come down next turn. We'll see if there's a force of will on the other side. So here we go. Which is it? Goblin Rebel Master first? Yep. Just to try and bait out a counter spell. There's no counter spell there, so this is going to be tough. How does he beat this? He would have, I think, lightning bolted beforehand to stop the Rebel Master triggering the Goblin, but he didn't. So I'm guessing there's no removal spell in hand. Okay, hit the jigs up. Show and tell. Emrakul and it's game over. Has there... Oh, Grizzlebrand. Just gonna pass the turn. And Grizzlebrand is gonna be brutal here because the Rebel Master forces the goblins to attack, so he's getting free damage in here. He's going to be forced to attack, which means Grizzlebrand is going to get the lifelink. Everybody's coming in. So he's going to take 5, 6, 7, but he's going to offset that 7 he's going to take by killing the Rebel Master. So that if there's a counter spell on the other side, I think Markus is going to take this one. And I'm a little bit surprised he just let Grizzlebrand die rather than activating it. Preordain gets the Chalice. Okay, sneak attack will get him around that. Yeah, I think a show and tell deck that resolves a Grizzlebrand should have been a winner there. And here's Magus of the Moon to really punish that land base now. So sneak attack can activate, it does not. So 5, 6, 7 coming in here. He needs to top deck something right now. He can't even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, Emrakul won't even be good enough. So we're going to go to game 2. Dylan looking for the clean sweep. Here's turn 2, show and tell. Well, ensnaring bridge here. How's he going to beat that with Emrakul? Plays out sneak attack. Emrakul. Yeah, I don't know how he can win now. No cards in hand. He can certainly draw cards with Emrakul, but I'm wondering how he's going to attack. Emrakul won't get the attack trigger because of Ensnaring Bridge. Grizzlebrand can't attack, so he needs something in his deck that can bounce 2 Ensnaring Bridges, but I don't know what they are. I think this looks hopeless. We might be seeing, and there's a Magus of the Moon, so I think we're going to see a concession pretty soon. Down comes a Trinisphere, so all his spells are going to cost 3 now. Well, they don't actually cost anything. I think Omniscience he still has to pay the 3. Yeah, he does, yep. So that's it. Dylan's going to get the sweep. So very competitive matches. Excellent games all round. You can see the Emrakul, he's drawn it, but it's too late.